Hello, this is Edward Lomax, and in this video I want to go over how the Forex market can beat average yearly percentage returns of investment markets like the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and even the real estate market. At Trade the Forex Market, our goal is to trade the Forex market profitably and make money. Now, that's pretty obvious, right? But determining how much money we should expect to make is an important step in our success, and that is not so obvious. So we need something to measure our performance against to gain some perspective so that you can see what the performance actually means. So how about the average yearly gains of other popular investment markets? Let's compare our gains to the other investment markets out there. Now, all investors need a benchmark, which is a standard or point of reference against which performance can be compared. And most investors use the S&P 500 as their point of reference. So let's start there. The S&P 500 index is a basket of 500 largest publicly traded U.S. companies. Now, over the past 90 years, the average annual return of the S&P 500 has been just under 10%. Let's focus in a little closer and look at the performance over the last 20 years. As you'll see, there are some good years, there's some negative years, there's some really good years, there's some mediocre years, but on average, the S&P 500 over the last 20 years has done plus 5.13%. Okay? So what you can take away from this is that the results vary greatly from one year to the next, but over the long term, over the past 20 years, the S&P 500 has been doing over 5% gains. Okay? Now let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is an important index of 30 significant stocks traded on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ over the past 20 years. So what you see is something very similar. Some good years, some really great years, and some negative years as well. Now, on average, that works out to plus 5.96%. for the Dow Jones Industrial Average in terms of average annual gains. Now again, notice that not all years are positive, and it's about the long-term average results that matters. And in this market, you could get close to 6% return on your investment. Okay, what about the real estate market? Everybody knows real estate's a great investment, right? So let's take a look at the iShares US Real Estate ETF, which tracks the investment results of the Dow Jones US Real Estate Index. Now, I only have stats for 18 years for this. And as you would expect, good years, great years, some negative years thrown in. But over the long term, over the past 18 years, it works out to about plus 5.66% average annual gains for the real estate market. And again, like I stated, notice that the results can vary greatly from one year to the next. Okay, so in order to beat the average annual percentages of these popular investment markets over the past 18 to 20 years, we need average annual percentage returns of over 5%. If we're doing over 5%, we're beating the big investment markets out there. Okay? Now here at Trade the Forex Market, I treat each trading account as a business. And the Forex Empire Building Formula, which you'll learn about later, shows how to build these businesses systematically over time to any income level you desire. But what kind of annual percentage returns should we expect from each of these businesses? 40%. Now 40% is my goal that I try to hit every year. And you might notice that my goal is a lot higher than what has been going on in these other investment markets. Over the past 20 years, they're doing over 5%. My goal might seem very aggressive because I'm going after 40% gains per year on average. Okay, average annual growth of 40% is our goal. So that means that by reaching this goal, my businesses are highly profitable and they're growing according to plan, and I'm very happy with the results. My long-term plan is right on schedule. But what about the reality? What's really going on with the trading? That's the goal. What's really going on? Let's compare this to my longest running business under this format, which is the 2-hour Forex signals. The goal here, you'll see, is 40%. In 2017, we did 163.4%. And in 2018, we did 93.2%. Now you can see more about how that all works out in detail on the performance page. But just goes to show that the 40% goal, even though it might sound pretty aggressive, is definitely able to be hit, and we're definitely able to outperform the 40% goal. So the takeaway number one is there exists the potential to greatly outperform our 40% annual gains per year. Now, this is what it looks like for 2017, 2-hour Forex signals versus the investment markets. You can see we blew them away in 2017. Okay, well, what about 2018? 2018, you'll notice that the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the real estate was in negative. They did negative that year, and we did 93.2%. So what does all this mean? Takeaway number two is that we can beat the markets. And not only can we beat other investment markets by a little, but we have the potential to outperform other investment markets by a huge margin. So let me just do another teaching moment real quick here. You remember how the results for the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the real estate markets varied greatly from one year to the next? Well, that is not an anomaly. Okay, that's the norm. And that is what you should expect from any type of investment, including Forex. One year might be really great, the next year might not. You need to expect that there's going to be a difference between one year to the next. But the potential to greatly outperform popular investment markets over the long term definitely exists, and the profit potential is huge. Okay, in conclusion, if you want to put your money to work for you to make more money, don't you want the best return on investment possible? Now, which market presents the best opportunity for potential average annual gains? I think you already know what I think. And now it's time for you to go back to the site and continue on reading through the page.